When German prisoners of war arrived in the United States during the Second World War, many believed they were entering a weakened nation. Years of propaganda had convinced them that America was chaotic, divided, and incapable of sustaining a long industrial war. What they encountered instead would permanently change how they understood the conflict and their place in it. More than 300,000 German soldiers were transported to American soil between 1942 and 1945. They came from North Africa, Italy, France, and later from the collapsing front inside Germany itself. Most arrived confident. They still believed in German technical superiority. They still believed that America exaggerated its strength. And they believed that captivity in the United States would expose a fragile enemy. That illusion began to collapse almost immediately. As prisoners were moved by train across the country, many traveled for days without seeing the same landscape twice. Endless rail networks stretched beyond the horizon. Industrial cities appeared one after another, each surrounded by smokestacks, factories, and warehouses operating day and night. Trains loaded with tanks, trucks, artillery, and aircraft passed in every direction. For men raised to believe Germany was the industrial heart of the modern world, this scale was unsettling. Several prisoners later wrote that the factories never seemed to stop. Even at night, the glow of furnaces lit the sky. Assembly lines ran continuously, producing weapons at a pace they had never imagined. For the first time, many realized that this war was being fought on an industrial scale Germany could not hope to match. What disturbed them most was not just the size of American industry, but its efficiency. Aircraft were produced in long assembly lines, almost like civilian automobiles. Entire bomber squadrons could be replaced faster than Germany could train new pilots. Losses that crippled German units barely slowed American production. To many prisoners, the realization was devastating. This was not a war Germany was losing because of tactics or bravery. It was a war being lost because of mathematics. Yet the shock did not end there. The treatment German prisoners received in the United States contradicted everything they had been told. Instead of brutality, many encountered strict but orderly camps. They were fed adequately. They received medical care. They were allowed to read newspapers, play sports, and even attend educational programs. Some were assigned work on farms or in factories far from the front lines. For soldiers raised on the belief that Americans were barbaric and morally corrupt, this treatment created deep confusion. It forced many to confront the uncomfortable possibility that they had been lied to, not just about America's weakness, but about its values. As prisoners listened to American radio broadcasts or read newspapers, another realization set in. The United States was not fully mobilized at the start of the war. What they were seeing was not America at its limit. It was America accelerating. Factories were still expanding. New plants were still being built. More workers were still entering the system. And behind all of it stood a population largely untouched by bombing, invasion, or collapse. In letters and diaries, some prisoners admitted they now understood the outcome of the war long before Germany officially surrendered. The industrial gap was simply too wide. No amount of courage, discipline, or sacrifice could overcome it. For many, captivity in America became the moment when belief finally gave way to reality. The myth of German inevitability shattered not on the battlefield, but in the shadow of American factories, railways, and shipyards. They were not ready for what they saw in America, and once they saw it, they knew the war was already lost. If you found this story meaningful, take a moment to support the channel. Subscribe for more in-depth stories from World War II and leave a like. It helps this history reach more people. Your support keeps these stories alive.